Hello everybody, I'm Cassidy, I'm the Hippie Catholic. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe to be part of the conversation. Our community has over 500 subscribers. I am so humbled by the fact that over 500 people actually want to support what I'm doing. That's just crazy to me. I'm sorry, I'm making this super awkward. Thank you so much to everybody who has contributed to this platform and has helped it grow in diversity and has, contributed to the conversation that we're starting here on the Hippie Catholic. So just thank you so much before I get into the start of this video. I'm veiling today. Veiling is a really big issue amongst Catholics, but also amongst those who study religion and gender as well. There's a lot of debate about whether veiling can be empowering to women or if it's inherently disempowering. I take the position that it can be empowering or disempowering depending on the woman's consent and or just, what resonates with her and her society. And I just want to be really sensitive when it comes to this issue because Islamophobia is rampant. It seems like everybody has an opinion about veiling except the women who veil. I stand in solidarity with other women who veil as a part of their religious practice. It's not only Muslim women, there's Jewish women, Hindu women, Catholic women. I stand in solidarity with all of these women. Oftentimes I feel like that women who veil are attacked on both sides of the American two-party system. I'm just tired of everybody having an opinion except for women who actually veil. So if any of you veil as a part of your spiritual practice, I absolutely affirm and support you. I thought that Lent was a good time to make this video because I really wanted to start focusing on my Catholic content. Though I love making other commentary videos about social justice issues that are going on right now, there will be more content about that soon. But I just wanted to focus on my Catholic devotions as well because I feel like that's important to talk about here on this channel. Because to me, it's all interconnected. And I just want to share that with all of you. Anyway, you clicked on this video to find out why I veil, and I'm about to tell you. Reason number one, I like that it supports traditional expressions of femininity. I believe that traditional expressions of femininity are just as valid as non-traditional gender expressions. And I guess I'm kind of relating this to the commentary video I made about Mrs. Midwest. I'll put that in the card above. Veiling can and has been empowering for many women for thousands of years. For example, there's a lot of misconceptions about veiling in the Middle East. While in some countries it is very, very oppressive. In other cultures in the Middle East, veiling can also be used as a way for women to take back control in a situation. For example, in some Middle Eastern societies, women veil as a sign of respect for those around them. It's a way of establishing if you're on good terms with other people around you. Let's say there's a guy who's treating his wife terribly or just is a disrespectful, nasty person. The women, as a sign of protest, would often unveil in his presence as a way of saying, we don't support you, we think that you're bad, you're canceled. And that still goes on in the Middle East today. I'm not erasing the fact that there is really, really oppressive laws in the Middle East in some countries. I'm also not denying that women are powerful and women find ways to make their situations empowering. And I think that should be taken into consideration. But yeah, I'm gonna put my scholarship for that position in the description box below. Reason number two, veiling was an expression of class solidarity in the early church. The early church faced a dilemma since they were bringing together people of completely different cultures and classes. Greeks were not accustomed to Jewish traditions. Yes, St. Paul was Jewish, and he continued to be Jewish after his conversion to Christianity because having a Jewish identity isn't inherently defined by religious affiliation. Just a little PSA from a Jewish ally. Paul in the early church had to find a way to make everybody feel comfortable at Mass. So Paul asked for women to veil, which was against their social customs if they were Greek. Greek and Roman women showed their wealth by wearing fancy hairstyles. They literally would braid gold into their hair. That's why in 1 Timothy 2:9 and 1 Peter 3:3-4, women were asked to not braid their hair or adorn their hair with gold or like dress up too fancy. It was a way to establish equality at Mass, which is really, really radical and really cool when you think about it. By asking the women to veil, it was an attempt to establish class solidarity and equal dignity among early Christians. This was also why men were asked not to veil, because it was respectable for Roman men to veil during religious rituals, which is something my dead Hellenistic boyfriend Plutarch attests to. I am such a history nerd. Been that way since 6th grade. But anyway, every woman veiling and every man not veiling got rid of the inequality that was caused by differences in class and culture. And I feel like that this message can be applicable to today's society. In today's online environment, there's such a fixation on flex culture. I just thought that veiling was a cool, personal way for me to resist that normative online. I think that it's really harmful for 15-year-old kids to think that they need to afford like Gucci and like all these luxury brands as if those are like normal available things for regular people to have. And I just think that it sends a poor message to people that are not able to afford those sort of luxury brands. So yeah, I'm anti-flex culture, in case you wanted to know. And so was St. Paul, I think. So reason number 3 why I veil. It helps me focus on the otherworldliness of the Eucharist. This is kind of a personal reason for me. There's not really like a biblical backing for it. It's just kind of just like, okay. For me, veiling just kind of like reinforces like the sacredness of the Mass, and it's kind of like, okay, it's a difference in my like weekly routine that it kind of helps me be like, okay, like I'm going to church, like this is different than like me going to Panera Bread or something. I don't know, this is like completely a personal reason. But yeah, that's my 3rd reason. Here's the 4th reason why I veil. It resonates with me. What I put on my body is my prerogative. I don't understand how this is such an issue for some people, but it is. I seem so angry in this video, but you know what, it's fine. So I guess tiny story time. During Advent, I posted a vlog where I showed myself veiling for the first time at Mass. At the time, I was a part of a Facebook group for progressives and leftist Catholics. I shared the video on that page because I thought that I'd get some good feedback from some like-minded people. I thought I would find support amongst my own, but I got terrible backlash, like terrible. It turned into like this big debate about like, oh, like can women veil and still be feminist? Is like veiling like inherently misogynistic? Like what's going on? And I was like, whoa, like I just shared my vlog and I literally got into a debate with the leader of the group, a white man, by the way. And he was telling me that I, a woman, am not feminist, as he's telling me what I can and can't wear to be empowered. Okay, boomer. I just was irritated. It's like, that's the definition of oppression. Like, you're literally dictating what somebody can and can't wear on an everyday basis.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
That's why I'm so against the censorship laws in France and places like that that don't allow people to express their religious beliefs through articles of clothing and stuff, because that's freedom of expression. That's a way to establish your identity in a space. And that's just so important, especially for people who have been traditionally disempowered, like women and queer folk and, you know, people of different races and ethnicities and stuff. It's just really, really disheartening that some people go about the world with such unnuanced views. Long story short, like many other instances in my life, I was banned from the group. They literally made a new rule that said that anybody who embraced traditionalist devotions and shared them in the group would be kicked out immediately because of me. And that hit me hard. I'm not even gonna lie. It was awful. It was just awful to be made to feel like that. In the name of empowerment, I was utterly disempowered. So that's fun. I'm not going to deny that veiling has been used to disempower women, because it totally has. But it's also been used to empower women, and I think that also should be taken into account. It literally all depends on what the woman wants and what she's comfortable with. What she puts on her body is under her sovereignty. There's not one kind of way to be an empowered woman. You have the right to follow the spiritual path that resonates with you, and I believe that God meets people where they are. There are aspects of traditionalist Catholicism that are really appealing to me. I fully support Vatican II. I'm a Vatican II baby. But I think that there's beauty and solidarity and comfort that comes with mindfully carrying on ancient traditions. My thoughts on Latin Mass. Well, the day I'm filming this, I actually attended Latin Mass for the first time. It was absolutely a gorgeous church. It was gorgeous inside. I'm going to be sharing the footage with you and I'll just be talking over it. I absolutely love the architecture and the visual art in this church. Art in Catholic churches has always been an issue of debate. I fully support all the fine art in Catholic churches because I think that it's both beautiful and also very radical, and here's why. One of the reasons why Catholic churches are so ornately decorated was because for thousands of years, majority of the population were illiterate. And the traditional Latin Mass kind of reaffirmed that historical truth to me. And so in order to convey the stories of the Gospels, the church would make beautiful biblical depictions on the walls. Church could feel like heaven to people who throughout the rest of the week were participating in hard labor and living in poor conditions. The fine art and architecture of Catholic churches was a way of affirming the dignity of the poor. In this way, the church was able to affirm the dignity that declares that all people deserve good things, and that art is for everybody, not just the bourgeoisie. Church is, has, and always will be for everyone. Something else I really loved about the Latin Mass church was that I really loved the availability of mystic rituals. Unfortunately, in some post-Vatican II churches, there's been an erasure of some of the beautiful mystical practices of the church. There were relics to St. Padre Pio and St. Philomena and St. Lucy in this church. It was wild. There was literally like bone fragments of St. Lucy and St. Philomena. It was wild. It was amazing. I really loved the prayer candle stations around the church. They're open for anyone to use. I said a prayer for all of you guys who are coming here to find a spiritual space. I hope that this channel will serve as a place of respite for you on your spiritual journeys. What's different too about Latin Mass is that many people receive confession while Mass is going on before the Eucharist, which is so different than Norvis Ordo. I actually went to confession before the Eucharist because I felt like I was being called to it. The priest's interaction with me was very life-giving. He was very mental health positive, and I told him about my struggles with OCD and my recent struggles with seasonal depression. I told him about one of my fears and failings, which I believe relates to this video's topics. My whole life, I've tried to make everyone happy, and I've tried to make everybody comfortable with my existence, even though it's not good for me. Recently, I found myself losing myself, and I started putting idols in the place of God. I was worrying about compromising pieces of myself to make other people more comfortable. There's a difference between being considerate and losing your identity. The priest shared these words with me, and I felt like that I should share them with you. Don't be afraid to take up space. Own your space. If you are being called to veil, own it. You were made to take up space. And just let yourself be loved by Jesus. Let yourself be loved. I know how hard that is. It sounds so simple, but it's also so hard. Just breathe. You were made to take up space. Thank you so much guys for watching. Please consider supporting me on my Patreon account. As a small creator, I'm currently not monetized, so any donation would help the platform out immensely. Thank you so much to my lovely patrons. And if you're not financially able to donate, that's totally okay. You can still help support me and these videos by liking my videos, sharing my videos with those who you think would enjoy it, and just by leaving a comment. I would love to hear from all of you guys. Thank you so much guys for watching. I'm Cassidy, I'm the Hippie Catholic. God bless.